Ready? We rolling? Oh, it's just me again, still. What's up, everybody? It's your man, Pots and Pans. Welcome back to another episode of Real Chef Tips. Today, we are gonna be going over kitchen mise en place. I've explained mise en place multiple times in my videos. It is a French term. It means everything is in its place. It's preparation. It is being prepared. That's the same thing. Mise en place can simply just mean the food that you need to prep for the recipe, but it also can mean your pots and pans that you need for the recipe. It could be the tools. Today, in reference to this episode, we are going to be talking about how to set up your kitchen for success. Now, every single person's situation is going to be a little bit different. You might be a little kid watching this video and, you might live with your parents. You might be 38 living with your parents, in which case, get your life together. You might just be living in a big city and you might live with your spouse, or you might live with multiple roommates, and some people are gonna have more freedom than others. All those situations are okay. There's no right, no wrong. My job here is to just show you what I've done with my kitchen based off of how I would set it up if I was in a professional kitchen. And yeah, just take those with a grain of salt, apply certain things. If it doesn't work for you, throw it out. But you just gotta deal with the cards you're dealt. So hopefully you guys can look at my kitchen and take away a few different ideas from it. Without further ado, let's get it. All right, so check out the fridge. First rule of the fridge, don't put shit on it that you don't need. You obviously need this, definitely do that. Let's open it up. What do we got here? Basic man fridge. I'm eating the same things basically daily, so keep it simple. In restaurants, you would keep things in a manner of first thing first out. FIFO is a very common term used in the restaurant industry. It stands for first in, first out, and it simply means what it says it means. Because if you buy things first or you prep things first, it's gonna go bad. So you put it towards the front, all the new stuff goes towards the back. It's simple, it keeps you organized, and you stop people from having explosive diarrhea all over your house. So I generally do that, but like right now, I'm about to leave, so I don't have a lot of things. I'm about to go out of town. Freelance plates, because I don't have a lot of storage, so keep it in there. If there was raw stuff, I would have one thing for like maybe raw chicken, or raw beef would come down here, that's obvious. And then, up here I have things that need to be prepped still, or are prepped. Usually all of my prepped food will go in there, and then up here is more prepped things or raw ingredients like these fruits. And the whole thought process behind that is obviously like you don't want to put your raw chicken up yonder and then have your sauerkraut down here. Now remember, kids, drip is something that you might want if you're trying to get signed to a modeling contract, or perhaps find a mate to spread your seed. But it's not something that you want when it comes to chicken, okay? Say it with me. Salmonella. This cart, is this the ugliest blue I've ever seen? Yeah. Is it the paint coming away every time I scrub it? Yeah, it absolutely is. But you know what? It was free. This is a sharpening whetstone that I use pretty frequently, so keep that there. No, plastic wrap. I keep that right on the outside because I use it pretty heavily, and I go to Smart & Final or one of the restaurant supply stores and I actually get the Big John, because these little ones, honestly, they suck. They don't tear well. You run out of them in 2 days. I hate it. Proximo, we got water. I'm not super stoked about this, even though this is ceramic, this is cool. I'm thinking about ordering a glass one. Ideally, I would put a RO system over yonder. RO, or reverse osmosis, is pretty much the gold standard for what you see out in stores. If you buy bottled water, if you turn it around, it'll say filtered by reverse osmosis or whatever, but you can get some at home. There's like a 2-gallon tank reservoir, and you set it up and you just have to replace the filters. That would be ideal because, you have to cook with clean water too. It's not just what you're drinking. So I would love to have that situation, but right now, my landlord didn't seem too stoked about it. So luckily, that is not our only option. I want to get a paper towel holder, like a big grown-up, but right now, that's my travel fund. That is my paper towel holder. Travel fund could use a little help. Okay. Got this rack right here, you know, just in case I want to spice things up a bit. I have this scenario that I absolutely hate. It's disgusting, but it was here when I moved in, and so I kept it. At least it's kind of stainless and metal looking, but I keep all of my dry goods here that aren't really necessarily going to oxidize due to a lot of light, and then these are recipes if I need them on the fly, but I like to have this directly behind where I'm cooking, so I can just quick do a turnaround, jump shot, Kobe that shit, all those condiments in the pot. Directly above, much to the same situation. Right behind me as I'm cooking when I need the pots. Sorry if this is really blinding. That's gonna be really annoying. Wall's cute as shit. This thing I'll use to plate if I have some friends over. Cute as shit, never use that. Cute as shit, my friend made me that spoon. These cast iron pans, cute as shit, but you can use those. Anytime they need to come off the bench, 6-man style. More like 6th pan, am I right? These shelves, plant, cute as shit. Plant, cute as shit. What Harry Potter house did you live in? Dumble adorable. Moving on. This isn't always there, this KitchenAid, but like for the sake of the video, it's you know, totally cutesies, so I keep it there. I like to actually keep that space empty. Generally, this is empty too, but or if I'm washing dishes, my workflow, just like every other thing in life, prep, writing, whatever, left to right, unless you're missing, you know, a couple chromosomes or something. This will be where all my dirty stuff is, then you wash and then it lands there. I'll use that as extra space. Maybe I'll put like all the raw ingredients here, because just like I mentioned with the dishes left to right, you would prep in the same manner, left to right. And that's why I set up my kitchen the way I did, which I will get into right now. You have to really get in the mindset of how things are going to work out best for you and what makes sense in the direct order. And that's why I've set up my entire kitchen in the way that I have. Now, the best example that I could probably give to you that you would be familiar with is if you've ever been to a pizza place and you look back into the kitchen, they're generally open, you can see what's going on. You'll see the guy working his station, and a lot of the times there's just one guy cranking out a ton of pizzas. He might have his oven right here, and a few feet away is his station. Now he's throwing the dough up in the air, and then he slaps it onto the peel, which is the paddle, or you know, the thing that you shove the pizza into the oven with. But he's got maybe one cold bar, and then he's got like a low boy where he reaches into a refrigerator and pulls out maybe additional prep. But all of his prep is up top, and it's in that low boy, and he's got everything that he needs. He preps obviously before or maybe after service so that he's ready, and you're not gonna be running all over the place for certain ingredients during service. It's a nightmare. It's messy, it's unprepared, it's inefficient, you're wasting time, you look like an asshole. Now, am I personally speaking from experience here? No? So you can apply that same thing in your kitchen. I actually like the way my kitchen is set up. It's very small, but it's almost set up in the same scenario that that pizza guy is. I don't have to go very far based off of the layout and the way that I set it up. I don't have to go very far to get things accomplished. My fridge is right here, off to the camera left. I have this prep table over here, and it's just left to right. This is in the middle. I have things behind me that I most use often. I have over here more things. But you get what I'm saying. I'm not running all around. If anything, I could be working on my boxing footwork, just pivoting around, pivoting. Chopping, we're chopping. 1, 2, slip, roll, pivot, crack the pepper. So with regards to prepping, you prep everything left to right. Raw ingredients and things I need to prep on deck. This is actual prep location. If I need to, depending on what I'm cutting, working on, you know, general vegetables, I might use this wood one. If I'm using raw meats, I might go here, or I have these tiny little ones. Oh wait, sweet, not there. Fuck me, right? I have these color-coded ones that I use for other raw meats, and that's easy. You can just quickly prep them and then throw them to the dish pit. Good to go. So this is my general main prep cutting board. And for all the things that I would prep with, I have a lot of tools here. As you can see, all my knives where they should be. Mise en place. Getting it? Are you getting it? I actually used to have this same shelf that was here, was over here with another one, and I loved it there. I could put all my plates up there and my most used tools and utensils, and it was kind of nice. But with this skylight being such a massive factor when I was doing videos, it would just create shadows. You know, I had to replace it, so I just quick IKEA finds the magnetic strip. And actually something that I really like to do, if I'm watching a podcast or video or something and I'm prepping at the same time, I leave this little space open on the magnetic bar, and I come over and I just slap this on there, and look, it's like a little mini TV. So this is the prep station and most of the tools that I use the most. This drawer is a little jank, so you know, do better. But I use this gram scale, which I will definitely be making a different video in the future about. This bench scraper I use almost anytime I prep, so this comes off the bench into the actual bench. Cool tape for labeling, little utensils, fish boner, peeler, ring mold if I'm looking to mold things into a ring. You get it. All the things that I don't need to put up there but also need a home. And then down low, prep containers. I don't like to store too many things in plastic, but I do use them for general mise en place as I'm cooking, just quick storage. Acutely. Glassware on glassware, and cool. You don't really need to know that. Good talk. Elron cupboard up in here. Just like the fridge, it's like, what do you use the most and where should you put it? I'm short as fuck, so here are the things that I use the most on the bottom. And then up here is more like flowers and baking stuff and things that I definitely use the least. Oven. You guys probably have one of these. You've probably seen one of these before. Nothing too crazy to talk about. It's an oven, it's got 4 burners, great. We got salt and pepper. This is imperative. I always have a little cup full of salt. Now this is the end of it because obviously you want to, as you refill, you should clean this every once in a while. Don't be a nightmare. Whenever I season, I bring it down, I drop that seasoning in, same thing. Pepper goes back up there. Rolling pin, it looks cute as shit. This, yeah, that wasn't my fault. That happened before I got here. Cooks in kitchen set up their stations to be the most fast and efficient setup possible. If I'm prepping, I like to have clear countertops. As I mentioned, I would clear all that off. I would work left to right. This would be the prep station. This is being where we're cooking, obviously, because where else would you do that? But what I do is after I'm done prepping things here, it goes immediately to its new home. All the prep stuff goes on this side. This is bain-marie, and it holds all of my tools that I would use the most here. Strainers, spoons on spoons, knife sharpener, blah, blah, blah. Another thing right here, check this. Spoons on spoons. I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. There is no such thing as too many spoons. Check it. I got big spoons and slotted spoons. I got slightly smaller spoons. I got a gold spoon. Wow. Will you look at that? You want to talk about cute as shit? Focus. This one right here is just more utensils that I use the most. So I don't want to clog up, like I don't have a lot of storage space in that John over there that I already showed you. But so I use this. These are cake testers, which are good for testing cake, but also testing doneness on meats. It's another video. Scissors, I use these all the time. Those are awesome Joyce Chen's. Brushes for marinades or for applying oil to things that don't want to get messy. Cute as shit whisk, you know, little baby John. But you know, they're not just cute as shit. They do have utility. And maybe cutest of all cute as shit things, this. I keep this dropper here as a dipper into my oil and right into the pan. And final thing over here, as I mentioned, this is a bain-marie. That one just kind of stays like that for the most part. If I need more counter space, I'll pull these up, you know? Oh, what a fucking nightmare. This is why we don't have anything nice. But if I need a little more room, I just pull these up. And that should have been a lot easier. Last but not least, I keep this final bain-marie right here. These are the clean things. And then as I'm using it, you know, this has some drainage in it, so I might put a little bit of water in the bottom. Today, I have used this spoon and I've used this, but I can continue to reuse them. I don't need to wash them every time. I can just wipe them clean, or it's just my house, so I lick them clean. Closing thoughts with Chef. Simply, it's about becoming autonomous by considering workflow and placement of your tools and your mise en place. Every single time that you cook a dish over and over and over and over again, you're gonna know where everything goes, and it's just gonna be running on autopilot. Other than that, use simple common sense, do what's right for your brain and your kitchen, and you'll be fine. Don't buy a bunch of shit you don't need, minimize the clutter all over the place, and if you don't got a lot of space like me, hang shit. I hung those things. I hung my pans. I hung this stuff on the wall. It looks good, it saves space, and it looks really good on Instagram. That will be all for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this with somebody who you think would actually benefit from this as well. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and hit the bell notification, because on YouTube, even if you are subscribed to somebody's channel, you might not actually see it. What a nightmare. So make sure that bell notification is lit. And until next time, once again, thank you so much for watching. Love and peace, manokis. Chef out. Wow, did that work? I gotta work on my outro.